What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? This is your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Wow. Today is Wednesday, and I'm not feeling too good. I'm just not. We all saw what happened last night. We all saw that massacre. One of the most abysmal performances that we've ever had to experience as sports fans, most notably Philadelphia 76ers fans. I've never seen a team so out of it, so lackluster, so disengaged from the task at hand. Before I get too deep into this rant, I'm your humble host, Tony DeShields II, like I always say, and you guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports daily, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Super blessed to be here with you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, make sure you guys smash that like button on the video, share the content. Really appreciate all the love and support. Y'all know I'm coming at y'all every day as soon as I can, as hot as I can give it, as fast as I can give it. I'm here with you guys. But, wow, I'm pissed off. I am absolutely in full shock and awe of what I witnessed last night. The Philadelphia 76ers got smacked, got mollywopped, got bamboozled by the Miami Heat by 30 points. 30 points or was it 35 points? Regardless, they got smoked. Miami was smoking on that Philly pack last night. What the hell happened? Where were we? Did we forget where we were? Did we forget what the assignment was? Nobody came to play. Everybody seemed like they were sleepwalking. I want to talk about how disengaged Joel Embiid looked. When you're the superstar, when you're the man of the organization, the face of the team, the face of the franchise, when you're the guy, when everything flows through you, when everything begins and ends with you, you have to carry yourself with a certain stilo. You have to carry yourself with a certain level of care and attentiveness. And you have to be intentional. Joel Embiid didn't get the MVP. It is what it is. We live and die by the sword. You accept the result. And we all thought because he didn't get the MVP, it would light a fire under him. But what we forget is that when we receive bad news, when we receive news that's not necessarily what we expected, it can work in one or two ways. It can either motivate you to go harder, or it can disembowel you and leave you wallowing and rocking back and forth, holding your knees in the shower, asking, why me? Why? No one likes me. When bad things happen, you have to respond in one or two ways, or it can go one or two ways in how you respond. You either respond with animosity and fervor, and you go after what's yours, or you wallow in defeat and you lack urgency. And that's what happened to Joel Embiid and those 76ers last night. That's exactly what happened. They lacked intention. They lacked aggression. They lacked effort. Last night wasn't about the X's and O's. Miami didn't do nothing crazy or extravagant, neither on defense or offense. If you ask me, they started out hot making their shots, but they teetered off and they shot relatively how we shot from the three-point line. The difference was in that game last night, effort. That was the difference last night for the Philadelphia Sixers and the Miami Heat. There was a differentiation in effort. There was a differential in effort. Excuse my my slip. You saw two different identities on the court. You saw a Sixers team that can sometimes get too high and get too low. You saw a Miami Heat team that knows exactly who they are. And they're going to live and die by that narrative. They're going to live and die by what they bring to the table. You see, Miami Heat was up in this series 2-0. They could have easily got cocky. And maybe they did. Because the Philadelphia 76ers came back and forced the series to be tied at 2-2, won 2 in a row. The Miami Heat could have easily panicked. They could have easily lost sight of what the goal was, what the assignment was. They could have easily lost sight of what they were capable of. But no, that's not what happened. They know who they are. I give credit to Eric Spoelstra as a head coach. The word was, after that deflating Game 4 loss in Philadelphia, when they got back to Miami, he told his guys, look, let's not worry about basketball today. Go home, enjoy your families, get some rest. We'll pick everything up the next day. He knows his team. He was able to feel the pulse of his team. He knew his team needed a mental break after dropping 2 games on the road in Philly. The Sixers, on the other hand, I don't know if they came in too cocky, too arrogant, too confident. But this team goes as Joel Embiid goes. And it's so clear at this point. I knew Joel Embiid was the heart of this team, but I didn't realize just how much he altered their emotional state. I didn't realize just how much he altered the effort, their work ethic. I didn't realize how significant his emotional stability was to this team. Joel Embiid was clearly deflated last night, was clearly disengaged, was clearly in his head. Was it because of the MVP award? I don't know. And maybe we never will know. But I know one thing for sure. A month or so ago, Joel Embiid mentioned how he doesn't know what else he needs to do to get these guys to vote for him for the MVP. He doesn't know what else he needs to do to prove that he's the MVP. Right then and there, you saw how much he cared about the award. And we knew all season how much he cared about the award. We knew for the past few seasons how much he cared about the award. But you can't allow an individual award to influence team success. Because at the end of the day, you can have all the awards you want, all the personal accolades you want. We're trying to get championships. We're trying to go for legacy. We're trying to go for gold. We're trying to go for immortality. Joel Embiid lost sight of the goal last night. I understand he's been dealing with injury, fractured orbital, concussion, torn ligament in his thumb, back soreness, slightly torn meniscus from earlier on in the season. That man is broken. But if you're on that court, I don't want to hear no excuses. And I'm holding him accountable today. I'm a Joel Embiid fan. Don't get it twisted. But I'm holding everybody accountable today. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't put this loss on Doc Rivers today. We're all good for putting everything on Doc Rivers. We're known for it. It's the easy way out. But in this series, the Sixers have lost because of effort, not because of Doc Rivers. I cannot put Game 5 on Doc Rivers. I just can't. What about you guys? Do you guys put Game 5 on Doc Rivers? We got 3 people on the live stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Share the content as well. I can't put it on Doc Rivers. I just can't, because Doc Rivers was begging. He was pleading with his guys. Come on, give me effort. Give me something. He was begging his guys for effort. And they couldn't give it to him. They were dead in the water. Miami had a stranglehold on this game from beginning to end. Miami had their foot on our necks from beginning to end. You see, the Sixers are a very emotional team. They're not all business enough for me. See, I was always taught never let your feelings get in the way of the business. Never let your emotions get in the way of what needs to get done. Unfortunately, I was raised in the mindset of no one gives a damn about your feelings. No one gives a damn about what was supposed to happen. All they care about is what happened. You have a responsibility, not only to the people that's dependent on you, but you have a responsibility to yourself to take accountability. And if you can't take accountability, if you continue to point fingers, if you continue to worry about your emotions when it's time to take care of business, you will not be successful. You will not take anything you care about professionally or mentally or emotionally to the next level if you continue to rely on emotions. There's nothing wrong with tapping into your emotions. There's nothing wrong with let me get that very clear. Let me make that very clear. There's nothing wrong with tapping into it. Emotions can be a motivational factor. Let's not get lost. You can tap into your emotions, and your emotions can fuel you, but they can also deflate you. Emotions can become radioactive if not channeled properly. And the Philadelphia 76ers did not channel their emotions properly last night. They looked discombobulated, disinterested, lacked hustle, lacked effort. They looked like they were genuinely afraid to play in Miami. And it seems like every time the Sixers go to Miami, we can't get it done. What is it about Miami? They looked so bad last night. They looked like they were partying. And I'm not trying to make that assertion. I know a lot of these guys take their craft very seriously, but these guys looked so distracted. Tyrese Maxey seemed like he was scared to be aggressive. James Harden went right back to the James Harden that we know, and that is flat-footed, looking for fouls, and honestly, indecisive. Tobias Harris wasn't being aggressive enough for me going downhill to the rim. Joel Embiid, my brother, you are the MVP in Philadelphia. The league knows the work you put in. The league knows you cannot allow not receiving the award of MVP to distract you. If I'm being honest, you guys, I was sitting at home with myself and I'm laying down on the couch and I'm doing some work on my laptop and I'm preparing to watch the game. And, I had heated up some tacos and I'm thinking to myself, something doesn't feel right about this game tonight. Something doesn't feel right. There's something about that Miami air that deflates the Philadelphia 76ers. And this Philadelphia 76ers team is so hard to watch because they're so hot and cold, because they're so up and down, because they honestly continue to forget who they are. I can't put this loss on Doc Rivers. I can't. This game wasn't about X's and O's. This game was about effort. This game was about who wanted it more. The Sixers did not want it more. They got fat off those 2 wins, and they thought they had Miami on the ropes. Are you high? The series is tied 2-2. Ain't nobody on the damn ropes. They just as in the series as we is. It was a new series before last night. Now Miami has the upper hand, and now the Philadelphia 76ers have to win 2 games in a row. Can they do it? I don't know. I do not know. They didn't win this game because of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler came out hot, yeah, but Jimmy Butler didn't have like 30 or 40 points. Everybody else got off. The Sixers played terrible one-on-one defense, terrible. Doc Rivers tried everything. He tried to hit him with a zone. Like the Sixers, the players just looked disengaged. The players were not here with it. I don't care what anyone says. The players were not here. They were not here with it. Do not get confused. Do not get confused. The freaking Philadelphia 76ers are honestly one of the most hot and cold teams I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen a team not only not be in tune with their own emotions, but I've never seen a team play with their fan base's emotions this much. We're great, then we're terrible. We're bad, then we're good. We're productive, then we're unproductive. We're tough, then we're weak. We hustle, and then we're sluggish. Who are we? Who are the Philadelphia 76ers? I don't think we really know. I don't think we really know who this team is. I don't think they know who they are. The Philadelphia 76ers are a team that plays through their defense. They're the type of team that gets stops and scores on you. If the Sixers aren't getting stops, they struggle. When the Sixers are not getting stops, they struggle. And that is sad. There are going to be games where you have to go blow for blow with opponents. There are going to be games where you got to score. The Sixers couldn't do that last night. I'm not even going to sit here and make excuses for Joel Embiid. I'm not going to sit here and talk about, oh, my man got hit in the face with the ball and, you know, he wasn't the same after that. I'm not giving no excuses to Joel Embiid. You on that court. You on the court, give me something. No excuses for anybody involved. None. Of course, Doc Rivers deserves some culpability, but this game was about effort. If you guys are just joining in to the live stream, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports Daily, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got churches to the game. Look, we're discussing the Philadelphia 76ers cataclysmic loss in Miami. And I didn't recognize this team in any way. This team clearly feeds off of Joel Embiid's energy. They clearly feed off of him. If Joel Embiid is not in it, the team is not in it. I don't like that because there are going to be games where you have to pick the big fella up. There's going to be games where you had to say, hey, big fella, we got your back. We know things ain't looking too good right now. We got your back. When will somebody have Joel Embiid's back? Let's talk about it. When will there be someone in this organization that says, hey, give me the ball. I got you, big fella? When? They look lost. I kept watching Tyrese Maxey pass the ball and just get caught ball watching. There was no off-ball movement. Now, maybe I would put that on Doc Rivers. He needs to coach these guys up to move more off-ball. There was no cutting, barely any screens being set. Too much ISO basketball. They played right into Miami's hands. It can't happen. These are the games that can define a series. We lost by 30 points. Do the Sixers have a chance to win the series? Yeah. Do I think they'll win the series? No. No, I don't. I do not think the Philadelphia 76ers can win this series. Because not because of talent, not because of coaching either. Because they lack the gall. They lack the heart. It takes the desire it takes to get to the next level. They are too emotionally dependent on Joel Embiid. The Heat were toying with us last night. Toying with us. There were turnovers all over the place. There were so many just unforced errors. The Philadelphia 76ers had to take a long look in the mirror to figure out what they really want for this organization. Are you comfortable being mediocre? Are you comfortable being middle of the pack? Are you comfortable only making it to the second round? Keeping your team competitive in the conversation, but everybody knows they're not going to get past second round. That's the MO for the 76ers, and it has been for the past 4 or 5 years. Second round blunders. I'm going off today, you guys. If you guys just happened on the live stream, I'm going off because the Sixers deserve to get this smoke tonight. Or this afternoon, excuse me. Whatever time you're watching this live stream. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It really helps the live stream grow. Really helps the live chat get that much more spicy. Philly Ace says Joel Embiid got hit in the face by the ball and the refs didn't call it and Doc didn't make adjustments on defense, period. Philly, I love you to death, Ace. Why would the ref call a foul if he got hit in the face with the ball? Wait, is he gonna call the foul on the ball? Dwayne Dedmon didn't do nothing wrong. He tried to go after the ball. The ball hit Joel Embiid in the face. What foul was there? There was no foul. They need to double team Jimmy Butler, period, on defense for game 6. No, I'm not double teaming Jimmy Butler. He good, but he ain't that good. I'm not double teaming Jimmy Butler. I don't mean no disrespect. I'm a Jimmy Butler fan, actually. I like Jimmy Butler. I wish the Sixers would have kept him. That dog mentality was what was actually necessary in his organization. But I'm not double teaming Jimmy Butler. I'm not. I'm forcing everybody else to beat me. And that clearly was the goal last night. But the problem was the Sixers allowed everybody else to beat them. The Sixers couldn't get out of their own way. They were just giving it up. Ryan Rowe, what's going on, my man? He says bench scoring and Doc Rivers didn't make good adjustments. They need to focus on transitions and grabbing the boards. They played a terrible game. You're right. You're right. We lack the urgency. This Sixers team is regressing in front of our eyes. I don't see us being able to beat a team like Boston, who plays very physical defense, or a team like Milwaukee, who has Giannis and they're very physical. I barely see us beating the Heat right now. I really didn't know what I was watching. I've never been so frustrated sitting on my couch. My wife came in. She said, "Baby, what's wrong?" I said, "No, I'm good. I'm all right. Don't worry, I'm all right." She went in the kitchen. I said, "You know what, babe? I'm sorry. Something is wrong. I don't feel good." She said, "Wow, what's up?" I said, "My blood pressure is up. I feel it in my body. I don't feel right." She said, "What's up? The Sixers?" I said, "Can't you tell? They are shooting themselves in the foot time and time again." It's sad. It's disrespectful. It's quite honestly disappointing. Nina says facts. Yeah. Like, you can't come into hostile territory and play like that. Miami has all the confidence in the world now. They crushed you yesterday. Crushed you. Couldn't stop the bleeding. Ryan says Tobias Harris couldn't get aggressive enough to step up scoring and play through the defense. Missed wide open shots, and it isn't good enough to win the series. You're right. You can't miss wide open shots. I felt like Tyrese Maxey was thinking too much. Every time he had a 3-point opportunity, he took too long. He didn't shoot the ball in the flow. He would be wide open and he would just sit there, try to set his feet and pull the trigger. No. Tyrese Maxey is better at shooting off the dribble. He's better at shooting the ball in flow of the offense. Don't stop and think about the shot. You catch that ball, get it up. That is Tyrese Maxey's strength from a shooting perspective. Tyrese Maxey looked hesitant. Delco Green says the same MO, show no heart and must win games. That's why they continue to get eliminated in the second round. They fail to put together the right roster. Bringing Drummond back is important. Man, there's a problem with the way this team is built in general. We don't have any dogs on the bench. And what I mean by dogs, I mean guys that's like, we don't have any goons. We don't have any guys that can shift momentum from an emotional perspective. We got too many guys on our team that want to look cool. James Harden, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Danny Green. Matisse Thybulle. We ain't got no grit. We ain't got no wolves on this team. We don't. You think about the way Miami's built, they got some wolves on that team. You know what the Sixers need to do? They need to go out in this offseason and they need to trade Tobias Harris. They need to find a way to bring in some legitimate role players, guys that do more than just score. They hustle for everything. Everything. You know who would have been perfect on this team? Chris Paul. You know who would have been perfect on this team? Patrick Beverley. Or PJ Tucker. You need toughness on this team when you go against certain opponents. You can't just be all finesse. Sometimes you're going to get punched in the damn mouth. Philly A says they need Steph Curry to come back to Philly. This is not a Steph Curry issue. This is not a finesse issue. This is a toughness issue. This is an issue with heart. This is an issue with heart. Ivan Mims says that's why James Harden was not a good signing. Think about it. He's good in the regular season, but playoffs, he's always chokes. Ivan Mims says Harden is like fake jewelry. Look good for a couple of days, then just tarnish. Wow. Wow, man. It's really hard to argue with that. Damn, Ivan. It's really hard to argue with that. Wow. Harden is like fake jewelry. Looks good for a couple of days, then it just tarnishes. Damn. You spitting, Ivan. You spitting. Eagle Slayer says, keep holding it down, bro. We cannot afford to play like we did last night at home tomorrow night. You're so right. You're so right. The Philadelphia 76ers cannot afford this. At this point, the Sixers have won 2 games in a row. Do y'all honestly think the Sixers can win 2 games in a row? One at home, one on the road. As a matter of fact, the Sixers have actually been terrible on the road. They've been fairly terrible on the road, if we're being honest. The Sixers have been so bad on the road in this playoffs, if you ask me. The Sixers are what? Like, they're what? 5 and or like 4. They're like 0 and 4 on the road or something like that, or 1 and 4 on the road, something like that. Man, there comes a point in time where you have to ask yourself, what am I doing this for? Am I doing this for the glory, or am I doing this for my own personal accolades? Joel Embiid, do you really want the championship, or are you more concerned about your MVP status? AZ Cardinal says, and y'all traded Mikal Bridges. Bro, don't get me started on that. When we traded Mikal Bridges, I was at a loss for words. Mikal Bridges is a two-way monster. Almost won Defensive Player of the Year. And we traded him. I can't even remember who we traded him for. Oh, I remember. We traded him, and then we drafted Zaire Smith or something like that, who didn't play a damn minute for us. Oh, man, I get so emotional thinking about this stuff because I'm really a fan. I'm a fan first. I started out being a fan, and now I'm a media member. And quite honestly, I get so frustrated watching the Philadelphia 76ers play. I've never been so like low on a team. Like, you think about being a Golden State Warriors fan, or you think about being a Milwaukee Bucks fan, or you even think about being a Boston fan. You actually can go into the games and say, you know what? I believe my team gonna win this game. I know my team gonna win this game. You think about the Sixers, every game you go in scratching your head. Every game you come in and you ask yourself, is this gonna be the day we choke? Is this gonna be the day we get it together? We're constantly rolling the dice on the Philadelphia 76ers organization. Constantly. Am I right or am I right? Talk to me, y'all. Am I right or am I right? Nina, you're right. The Sixers cannot go out like that. You can't. AZ, you are so right. We need a PJ Tucker or a Jay Crowder. Somebody that's going to be a goon. Somebody that's going to throw their body around. The Sixers really, really need an overhaul in their identity, if you ask me. What is the Sixers' identity? Joel Embiid, and that's it? We're boom or bust with Joel. We're like, this team is really boom or bust, if we're being honest. They're boom or bust. They go as Joel Embiid goes. And if Joel Embiid ain't going, this team ain't going. It's hard for me to put too much flack on Tyrese Maxey. He's the youngest in the starting lineup. He's looking to his veterans to lead him. And he's going to always be a company man, do what coach says, follow the lead of the big fella, his veterans. But there were moments where I saw Tyrese Maxey in transition and he didn't do what he does best. This team needs an overhaul. My confidence is so low. Even if they tie the series 3-3, my confidence is so low. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It really helps the content grow. Really helps Chalk It Up Sports grow as well. I really appreciate you guys. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. If you guys just hop in on the live stream, we were just discussing how cataclysmic the Philadelphia 76ers have looked. I don't trust this team as far as I can throw them. And Doc Rivers, man, he gonna be the scapegoat for this series. He is. But I can't honestly blame him for this series. I really can't. Can you really blame Doc Rivers for this series? He was begging, pleading, imploring. Please, you guys, effort, hustle. This ain't about the X's and O's. This ain't about what they doing. This is about what we're not doing. This is about what we're not doing. Where is your soul at? Where is your heart at? Do you want to be here or not? I don't know, you guys. I know one thing for sure. The Sixers are not looking good. They're not looking good. And if we're being honest with ourselves, they may very well lose this series tomorrow. They held it down on the road, but this is why home field advantage matters. Home court advantage matters. Even if you don't win none of your road games, if you got home court advantage, you could be hometown heroes. Just win all your home games, and you'll be good. You could win a championship by not winning a road game at all. If you're a top seed. If you remain the top seed throughout all of your playoff series, you can literally win the championship and not win a road game at all. I don't trust this team. I don't trust our superstars. I don't trust our coaching. I don't trust anything about the Philadelphia 76ers. They are frauds, actually. Yeah, I'm snapping today, y'all. I'm a Sixers fan, and I hold them accountable because I love them. They're frauds. They're frauds. It was embarrassing. It was putrid. It was disgusting. It was rancid what we witnessed last night. They say when you're in the media, be careful with your words. Okay. But I don't think anybody on any platform is saying, great Miami win. No, they're saying terrible Sixers loss. Terrible. So I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to move on from the Philadelphia 76ers because there's only so much I can bear talking about these guys. There's only so much I can take from an emotional perspective. But know this, you guys, and keep this mindset in any and everything you do. Do not allow your feelings or emotions to sway the outcome of the result. Do not let your misfortune get in the way of the business. Do not ever let your downfalls influence the results. Hey, bad things happen to good people. Bad things happen to people who work hard. Things don't always go your way. But you have a responsibility to the people that look up to you, the people that depend on you. You have a responsibility to yourself to not allow your feelings, your emotions, your instability to get in the way of the task at hand. Understand the damn assignment. Now let's talk about these Philadelphia Eagles because that's the brightest spot of the day, obviously. I love what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing. I love what they've done so far. And I immediately want to lock in on the defense side of the ball. More specifically, the defensive line. The defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles is arguably the best in the NFC East. Let me ask you guys this. Do the Philadelphia Eagles have the best defensive line in the NFC East? Let's really think about it for a second. The Dallas Cowboys, their D-line is DeMarcus Lawrence, Tristan Hill, Dante Fowler Jr., Nelvin Gallimore, Dorrance Armstrong, Sam Williams. The most talented defensive lineman, their most talented guy is DeMarcus Lawrence, edge rusher. But outside of him, it may be Dante Fowler, who they got from Atlanta. But outside of those guys, who are the rest of those guys? Their defensive line is extremely questionable. And then you think about the New York Giants, who have improved their defensive line. They have Leonard Williams. They got Justin Ellis, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau. And after that, it's pretty much who are the rest of these guys. They lack depth. So the Cowboys and the Giants in particular lack depth on their defensive lines. Correct? They lack depth, which is why their D-lines don't even compare to the Washington football teams or don't even compare to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, when you think about the Washington football team's defensive line, they got Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young. They drafted for Darius Mathis. They got Casey Toohill, who used to be an Eagle. You know? They got some guys. That starting front four, legit. But once again, beyond their starting front four, you have a lot of questions. How good are they? Where's their depth? But when you get to the Philadelphia Eagles, that's where things get spooky for the rest of the NFC East. Because they have depth on the defensive line. Let's think about it. On the defensive line, you have Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat. You got Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Milton Williams, Derek Barnett, Hassan Reddick, Jordan Davis. Come on, man. Teron Jackson, you got to be. Look at that depth. The Eagles are going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem on the defensive front. The Eagles, let's keep it in perspective. They were one of the worst defensive lines last year when it came to rushing the passer. They were ranked 31st in the NFL when it came to sacks. One of the worst teams when it came to pressures. And I know a lot of the time we like to put a prioritization on the offensive side of the ball, right? But let's keep it in perspective. The Eagles didn't have a problem scoring points last year. That wasn't really the issue. Maybe we weren't efficient scorers, but we didn't have a problem putting points on the board. The problem was the defense, the fact that we couldn't get teams off the damn field, the fact that we couldn't stop teams from scoring, the fact that quarterbacks were allowed to knit sweaters, make tea, tuck the baby in, read a book behind their offensive front. We couldn't do anything to opposing quarterbacks. As a matter of fact, we allowed 9 quarterbacks to complete over 73% of their passes, and 5 of those 9 quarterbacks completed over 80% of their passes. It's unacceptable to allow 5 quarterbacks to complete 80% or more of their passes in a game. We allowed quarterbacks to have career games. We allowed Derek Carr to complete 90% of his passes. What the hell is that? It's easy to blame the DBs. It's easy to blame the corners and the safeties. It's so easy to do so. It's easy to blame the linebackers. But when your defensive front can't get pressure, when you can't even get pressure on a blitz, man, it says a lot about where your team is. It says a lot about the lack of depth you have, the lack of youth, the lack of talent you have on that defensive line. But now Brandon Graham is coming back healthy. Josh Sweat is healthy. Derek Barnett is not going to be a starter this year. He's going to be a rotational guy, which is going to work more in our favor as a team. You have Hassan Reddick, a double-digit sack guy who came into the league as a linebacker, but really, really earned his money as an edge rusher in his last year in Arizona and on his long season in Carolina, double-digit sack seasons back-to-back. I expect the same thing. You got Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Derek Barnett, I said, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat. There's no reason why we shouldn't be top 10 in sacks. Matter of fact, there's no reason why we shouldn't be top 5 in sacks in the NFL. I'm calling that. The Eagles will be top 5 in sacks this season. Book it. Quote me on that. Write it down. Stamp it. Clip it. Whatever you got to do. Hold me accountable. The Philadelphia Eagles will be top 5 in sacks come season end. I'm calling it. And I'm calling this as well. The Eagles will be top 5 in run defense. Matter of fact, let's just call it what it's going to be. The Eagles will have a top 5 defense this coming season. I'm booking it. I'm booking it. Clip it, y'all. Hold me accountable. Don't let me slip. What y'all think, though? Because when you allow quarterbacks to have so much time back there to do what they want to do, what do you think is going to happen? Somebody's going to get open. The corners and the safeties can't cover all damn day, especially when they're not allowed to even touch the wide receivers these days or the tight ends. Come on now. Come on now. Jonathan Gannon, he has everything he needs now. Sure, he may need another safety, another corner, whatever. But as far as D-line, linebacker play, as far as having the tools necessary to really get the scheme across, because we're going to see a lot of 3-4. We're going to see a lot of 4-3. We're going to see 5-2 sets. We're going to see Jordan Davis lined up over the center. You know what I mean? We're going to see Jordan Davis in a lot of goal line, short yardage situations. We're going to see Fletcher Cox in a lot of pass rush, third and long situations. Best believe Jordan Davis is going to be rotating with Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave, keeping those guys fresh. Milton Williams, you're going to see a lot of rotation. There's no reason why this defensive line shouldn't be fresh all year long. No reason why we shouldn't average about 3 to 4 sacks a game. No reason why we shouldn't. But that's just me. Jonathan Gannon has to put it together. He has to. Because I know we're probably running him. He's probably going to be a head coach at some point. Whatever. But we have talent on this team to get things done. We have talent on this team to wreak havoc defensively. Let's be totally honest. If we knew what Jalen Hurts was, if Jalen Hurts was already considered to be a top 10 quarterback, people will be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles being championship contenders. Would you not agree? I'm not saying Jalen Hurts can't improve, but what I'm saying is if we knew Jalen Hurts was a top 10, top 7 quarterback in this NFL, if we knew Jalen Hurts was even top 3 in the NFC, top 2 in the NFC, wouldn't we be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles being championship contenders right now? Let's put it in perspective. And you guys tell me if you agree or disagree. I care about your opinion. Make sure you guys smash that like button. We're going off today. You have the best offensive line in football, the best running game in football by the numbers. You have the best wide receiver core in your division. You have the best wide receiver in general in the division. You have a legitimate running back room with Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and Kenny Gainwell. You have a legit top 5 defensive line. You brought in linebackers now. You have depth. You have a head coach that brought your team to the playoffs in his rookie year as a head coach. If we knew without the shadow of a doubt that Jalen Hurts was a top 3, top 2 quarterback in the conference, we would be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles being potential Super Bowl contenders. But because we have questions about the quarterback position, we have doubts. Also, let's not forget we have Dallas Goedert, a top 5 tight end in the NFL. A top 3, top 2 tight end in the conference. Would you not agree? I don't know. The Philadelphia Eagles got a lot of work to put in at the end of the day. They got to put it together. But all the pressure on Jalen Hurts to perform. It's really that simple. Before we get out of here, we got about 8 or 9 minutes left in the show. I want to really talk about how much I love our rookies, man. I love everything about our rookie class. Not even just from a talent perspective. These guys are definitely talented. These guys are definitely multiple. They're versatile. Guys that can do different things. Guys that can impact the game. Like a Jordan Davis, like a Nakobe Dean, a Cam Jurgens who's going to take over for Jason Kelce. I like what Kyron Johnson brings to the table from a pass rush perspective, from an athletic perspective. Very raw, very coachable. Grant Calcaterra might end up being tight end too over Jack Stoll, a more true prototypical tight end, a guy that can really get it done in the passing game, not just block. But I love everything about our rookies because of their professionalism. I love everything about our rookies because they come off so mature. They're so self-aware. They're so self-aware of who they are, what they're capable of, what they need to improve on, the journey they've been on. I was watching some press conferences of the guys a couple of days ago, and I really love that kid, Kyron Johnson. I really want Kyron Johnson to win. Is it Karen or Kyron Johnson? Kyron Johnson. I really want Kyron Johnson to win. Because I love the way he diagnosed his game in his press conference. I love the way he diagnosed his shortcomings, what he needs to improve on. I love the way he talked about special teams. I love how he embodies everything. Embodies everything that's football. He understands how important special team is. He doesn't shortchange it. Jordan Davis, his presser, amazing. I loved it. I love the self-awareness. I love how well-spoken these guys are. I love how these guys know how to express themselves. I love their awareness of the game. I love how committed they are to their success. A guy like Nakobe Dean and Kyron Johnson, they got chips on their shoulders. They want to prove guys wrong. Kyron Johnson wasn't invited to the combine, but he had an amazing pro day. A spectacular pro day, as a matter of fact. Kyron Johnson ran a 4.4 at the 40-yard dash. That's insane. And he was originally at linebacker for Kansas, but then when they put him on the edge, he was much more productive. Much more productive. Significantly more productive. So the Eagles arguably picked up an edge rusher and a D tackle in his draft. Because best believe they're going to use Kyron Johnson in various situations if he can make the roster. He's too athletic. He's too much of an athletic freak to not use in different ways. Cam Jurgens, I love his press conference. I love the story he told about the tornado warning, finding out when he got drafted. You know, how his grandmother said, listen, y'all can go out there in the tornado. Y'all can go in the basement and hide from the tornado. I'm sitting right here. Y'all come get me if things get a little too rough, but I'm standing right here. I love everything about this class. I love Grant Calcaterra's interview as well. I love how self-aware he was, how he made it a point to really learn about his body, learn about concussions, and commit himself back to the game. And it's really cool to see this draft class really show up from a professional perspective. But overall, they got to put it together. Overall, this draft class has a lot riding on these guys. And they are very aware of the stakes. They all got chips on their shoulders. Cam Jurgens wants to prove that he can be a legit starting center and take over for Jason Kelce. Karan Johnson wants to prove that he can impact the game in more ways than one. Jordan Davis wants to prove that he's more than just a run stuffer and he could take over for a guy like Fletcher Cox. Nakobe Dean wants to prove that all those people that passed on him, you've made a grave mistake. You passed up on the best linebacker in the draft. Excuse me. Grant Calcaterra wants to prove to himself that he can be a pro, that he can survive in this NFL. He can survive. He can outlast his concussions. This is a draft class with chips on their shoulder. A draft class who wants to prove all doubters wrong. A draft class who's looking and ready and willing to put hands and feet on the opposition. And that's how I'm carrying it. And that's why I love guys like Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Karan Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Grant Calcaterra. They ready to put hands and feet on the opposition. This is such an important draft class, arguably Howie Roseman's best draft class, and you can see it. You can see in how Howie Roseman is conducting himself in these interviews. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go check out Howie Roseman's interview on Jacob Media's Sports Take. What a great interview by guys like Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, and Rob Ellis. Great interview. Go check that out on Jacob Media. But this rookie class, they are battle-tested. These guys have been through some things. They've been doubted. They've been through trials and tribulations with their health. They've had to fight for their role. They've been called too small. They've been called limited. They've been called injury prone. Things change. Things change when you're a Philadelphia Eagle. We ride or die for ours, you dig? I expect great things from this draft class. You know what I expect? I expect, at minimum, 3 future stars out of this draft class. I expect 4 future starters. I believe Karan Johnson has the athletic tools to be a starter in this NFL. If he can put it together and crack the 53-man roster, barring any injury, that's what I'm saying. Think about this. TJ Edwards, contract year. Kazir White brought in on a 1-year deal, contract year. Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley, those guys are still trying to figure it out. Jacoby Stevens still trying to figure it out. Patrick Johnson still trying to figure it out. It's open season for the linebacker position. The competition is at an all-time high. Can you imagine if Davion Taylor and Karan Johnson put it together? And then you got Nakobe Dean? That would be a nasty linebacker room. Nasty. Then you got Hassan Reddick on the edge, Jordan Davis, Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat. That's a lot of athleticism. Based off of the opponent's soft text, I don't see why this Philadelphia Eagles team can't win 10 games minimum. This Philadelphia Eagles team should win 10 games minimum, and they should be able to win the division. That's my honest expectations. The Philadelphia Eagles should be able to win the division. I don't see why they can't go 11-6. Am I jumping out the window when I say that? I don't know. But you guys be the judge. We're going to get out of here. Really appreciate all the love and support. I am your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry.